So
All right.
are we going to see more power grabs from COVID, or are 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 some
I
people just dumb
think
enough to do it forever,
so. They're already
regardless?
coming out with the tridemic. I'm sure you've seen the tridemic.
Of course, of course. I actually don't really. I think they've said there's a flu, RSV, and
And
COVID. I don't
COVID.
know if pneumonia is part of it.
No, not
Wait
pneumonia.
until they come.
RSV, flu, and
Wait
COVID.
until they get that quad-demic going.
Yeah,
Wait until they get
yeah.
that quad-demic going.
But the thing, what I want to help people do. I'm not a major health expert. I'm not a major, expert in anything like as far as politics. I'm obviously, I'm not in politics, but I
But
want
you're
to
not nothing. You know enough
right.
about it.
Well, what I am an expert in is not allowing people to manipulate me. And I'm not even an expert in that. I'm just not
You're
I'm not I want to help people realize that not everyone has their best intentions for them in mind. And I want to help people
you got
realize
freedom in mind, liberty.
right. But not kind of, but I want to help people realize that there obviously are people that are telling you things that mean well for you that want to help you, right? But there are also people that are doing the opposite, that only want to help themselves and are purposely telling you things that may not necessarily harm you, but will not benefit you, but will benefit them, right? So the biggest point I want to make, and to help people realize this, is take anyone any opinion that you have on anything, think to yourself how you came to get that opinion. Was it something that you got through experience yourself? Was it something that you got through something someone told you? Or was it something that is like a mass generalization, like an objective truth, like 2 and 2 plus 2 equals 4, right? Some people disagree that there is objective truth, which obviously those people are crazy. They those are
I mean, to
those
come
are
to that point, you need to believe that there's no. So people that say there's no such thing as of objective truth, I just fumbled my words,
objective
rhymes.
truth, yeah.
No, people that believe that there's no such thing as objective truth are contradicting themselves because they believe that to be true
But
as
they
an
no
objective.
no because well yes right right. It's
That's
inherently
that whole argument's
hypocritical.
gone.
It's inherently
Yeah,
hypocritical, right? But
yeah.
these are the same people that believe that the truth is each person lives their own truth, which to some degree has its, it may be true to some degree in certain aspects of personal life, but it's not true with a lot of things that are completely objective, right? Like I just mentioned, 2 plus 2 is 4. Uh, medically and biologically, there are only two sexes, right? I mean, there are certain things that are biologically true that from throughout the years of evolution, throughout the years of humanity, science has proven that certain things are true, right? Obviously, everything can always be questioned, always. That's the point of science. Science is questioning things to size them up against the facts to see if it holds water, right? That lends the point to me saying, don't believe everything you're told. At least, at least question everything you're told, right? I think there's too many people that don't pay attention enough to life in general. There's too many people that are just kind of middling through life and they're just living their own life and they don't want to be bothered to see what's happening outside of their life, right?
Well, yeah, you know what? Actually, if you don't mind me jumping in really quick, there's a massive phenomenon, and I've noticed this just the other day when I brought it up. I made a joke. Somebody had said something about they had met Ukrainian people. I was like, well, did you know? Did you donate them some money? And one of the other friends that was around was like, will you ever shut up about this? I was like, well, the fact that you never talk about it is what actually bothers me. The fact that 400 $400 per American or $350 per American. So when you scale it per taxpayer,
It's
probably
closing in.
$800 per taxpayer.
Yeah, it's closing in on
Almost a
10 billion.
thousand dollars per almost $1,000 per taxpayer is going to Ukraine. And the fact that you never want to talk about that is insane to me. It's like this somebody had called it something sometime, and I'm trying to remember what they called it. But there's
Ignorance
like
is
this
bliss.
phenomenon.
Oh.
I don't know, but there's this phenomenon that like you and I could talk about football, we could talk about soccer, we could talk about how work is going, how the wife is, stuff like that. But as soon as I mention something political, like there's a defense mechanism put up. Somebody just gets so mad immediately. They're angry and they don't want to talk about that. Immediately change the subject. They'll get mad at you for bringing it up. And the point is like, why do you never want to talk about this? Because somebody's I don't know if it was Aristotle, but somebody said that the refusal to participate in politics leaves you governed by your inferiors. So like if you think that I'm wrong on the topic and you don't want to talk about it, don't be mad when I'm governing you.
Yeah.
Don't be mad when I'm in charge. Like
Well,
you never want to talk about this. Why do you never want to talk about the fact that $1,000 a year of your money is going to fund a war in a country that's almost as corrupt as we are?
even bigger point on that is one of my dad's friends. Blows my mind to think that anyone could actually have this train of thought, but he and my dad always, my dad, he always brings, he's very passionate about politics and stuff. He always brings it up no matter what, and I really don't see that. I mean, I don't see the problem in it. I think that too many
It's a
people
big
get
deal.
offended. I think too many people get offended instead of, like, I understand that not everyone wants to talk about
35%
it.
of our income.
Hang on. I understand that not everyone wants to talk about it because they don't know much about it, and they don't want to talk about it because they're ignorant in a lot of what happens in politics. I understand that, but at least, if you don't want to have the conversation, don't get upset when you can't afford your groceries, when you can't afford gas, when you can't afford to survive. Don't get upset when that happens, because if you're not willing to talk about the problems, then you're not willing to fix the problems. And if you're not willing to fix the problems that you have, you're not allowed to complain about them, right?
Yeah. And you know what? I'll take their support. When things get bad, I'll take their support. But do not get mad at me when I bring up the fact that we're literally funding a proxy war. We're in war. We're in war right now. I'm sorry if anybody disagrees. We're in war.
Directly, like, not, it's not
100,
indirectly. The U.S. is
$100
directly
billion dollars.
funding the Ukraine to fight against Russia.
Anybody who's listening to this right now, try to think about how much $100 billion is. Think about it for one second,
There was a
listeners.
poll. There was a poll that said that it only took 20 to 30 billion dollars it would take to solve homelessness. What else do I have to say? Like, I'm not advocating that we should just be taking all of our tax dollars and funding homeless people.
Yeah, I don't care
But
about homeless people. I'm sorry. Like to a certain
no, no, no.
degree, I
Hang on,
do.
hang on, hang on. Listen to my. I'm talking about the
I know
essence
what
of
you're
the
gonna
point.
say.
I'm talking
I
about
know
the essence
what
of
you're
the
gonna
point.
say.
I'm
Yeah,
not.
you're right.
Hang on.
You're right.
It takes $20 billion in this poll that it would take $20 billion to solve homelessness. And I am not an advocate for giving people, just allowing people to live for free. But we just gave Ukraine $100 billion to fight a war in Russia, when we have homeless people in America that literally, for how long, and this problem has been getting worse. They've been dumping more and more tax dollars into endless wars. They claim they've been dumping money into homelessness, but more and more people seem to be going homeless, and it seems
Well,
harder. It seems like it's been harder and harder to make a living. But
you
we're
can't
gonna
just throw
take that
money at a
money.
problem and
Right,
expect it to go
right.
away.
And I'm not advocating for that.
Yeah,
But
yeah, I know.
but hey, if $20 billion could solve homelessness, and we're sending $100 billion to random people in Ukraine to fight a war, maybe rein it back like 20 or 30 billion.
Well, that's a funny point too. So, like you said, random people in Ukraine, and I wasn't actually going to bring this up, but you said random people in Ukraine. What's funny is go ahead and try to find some news articles regarding Ukraine before February or January of 2022.
It's all negative.
They're all
It's
negative.
all
They're all
negative.
Ukraine's full of Nazis. Ukraine is corrupt. The
Which
the
they are.
president's
This is
the
all true.
president's a
This is not
dud.
untrue. They are full of
Yeah.
Nazis, and they are corrupt. They are
Yeah,
far
go
more corrupt than the U.S.
find
And
a
that's why
find a
Joe
Ukrainian
Biden wants to
article.
do work with them.
Find an article regarding Ukraine from 2021. Ukraine's corrupt. The president's a dud. They're all Nazi. blah 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 blah. It's just a coincidence to me that Hunter Biden was dealing with Ukraine, and then we're giving Ukraine loads of money. But I mean, where does it end? I mean, like, are people really going to be there? There's like most libertarians or conservatives you've listened to have made the joke that the current thing, they're going to wear a patch that just says current thing so they
Mm-hmm.
don't have to keep up anymore. Just throw the bumper sticker on the car
Right.
that says current thing
Just
because
post the
I
black
can't keep
square
up
on
anymore.
Instagram. Just post the
Is it Black
Ukrainian
Lives Matter?
flag.
Is it
Just post all
get
these
the
things to
vaccine?
show that you are a great human being. Just post it.
That's why they've got the it used to be just the rainbow flag. Now it's the inclusive flag with
Now it's
all the
got
things
the
on it.
yeah. Now it's got the rest
They've
of the
they've
Nazi symbol
realized
on it.
themselves that they can't keep up. They're like, we can't they're like, guys, we cannot keep up. We gotta make a flag that just encompasses everything. So we have to
Everything,
stop changing it. We
everything.
gotta stop changing this every 3 months.
Listen, everything except white cis males.
Yeah, they're horrible people though, the white cis males. I hate them. Um
Very
I can't
inclusive.
even stand white cis males. I hate myself. I mean, yeah. But
Anyways,
it just gets into this. It just never ends with these some of
right.
these people. I
It's
mean,
always virtue signaling, and it's never actually solving a problem. It's only proving that you are on the side of the more compassionate people. It's
well,
never
it's
it's never
very.
a debate of
It's
how
not
to
even about
solve.
compassion. I don't even know what it is though,
But it's
because
not, I agree that it's not
they're
about
dumb.
compassion. But these people think that they are being. But you have to understand that these people are doing this to seem like they're more compassionate than the other side. Like
That's a whole debate. Like I think you said earlier you'd like to believe that they're being compassionate or they're doing it out of good faith. I don't know.
I'm
Like
talking
I'd
about
like,
regular people and civilians that maybe believe the ideology. I'm not talking about politicians. I'm
but
talking about
in
regular
general,
people.
in general, I'd like to believe that too. But when like the FBI goes and raids Mar-a-Lago and they do backflips and cheers, even after 6 years of investigating the guy, they've never found anything. Like I feel like if you wanted to find something after 6 years, you'd probably find it, right? Like
Right, but the
a grand jury can indict a ham sandwich and they haven't found anything on this
but
guy
but
yet. I'm
but
not even a huge fan of Trump.
the
I
problem.
think that the guy, I will not, just our listeners, I don't want to endorse anybody here, but I don't think I'll be voting for Donald Trump in the next election. You know what? I will endorse him. Rand Paul. Rand Paul is your man. And here's Rand Paul gave me $90 billion to say this. You should vote for Rand Paul in the primary for 2024. Rand Paul is your man. Down with Anthony Fauci. And my name is Tyler, and I approve this message.
So the point
You got one
about
minute.
how people, you know, can't see like that there was no evidence of Russian collusion with Trump. The point that people can't see that is because they only seek liberal and left leaning sources, right? They only seek that. And anyone
Waco.
to the right of them seeks both sources for a comparison, right? And
Like
that's
Crowder. Crowder keeps CNN up during his
right,
shows.
right. For one instance, yes. But the problem is that the ideology, if it's an indoctrination where people don't care about the point, they care about the power that they gain from it, right?
Yeah.
So
So to a certain degree, it just never ends. I mean, there's kind of this circular logic where they're going to go so far and some of them are going to realize they're bad and they'll come back. But it's just how many power grabs do you need to have before people realize that they've done themselves in?
yeah,